They cornered her when the hallway lights flickered, just after the final bell rang and the janitor's mop bucket echoed down the tiled floor. It wasn't the first time. But this time, the laughter was louder, crueler, like wolves circling their prey. 3 girls from the senior class, wearing lip gloss and entitlement, dragged her into the girls' bathroom like it was a game. And when they shoved her head into the toilet bowl and flushed, it wasn't just water that rushed past her ears. It was every ounce of silence she had swallowed for years. But when her breath came back, so did the fire. She rose, fists shaking, water dripping from her braids like rain off a stormed roof. Then, she snapped. With a scream that split the tiled walls, she kicked the stall door so hard it flew off the hinges right into the ringleader's face. If you believe in kindness, second chances, and inner strength rising against all odds, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. It truly helps these stories reach more hearts. Brielle Morgan wasn't always invisible. In the 3rd grade, she was the girl who laughed too loud, danced in public, and wore mismatched socks on purpose. But then her dad died in a car accident, and everything changed. Her mother, a nurse working double shifts, grew silent and tired. Brielle stopped laughing. She moved to a new school where no one knew the old her, only the quiet girl with hand-me-down jeans and eyes too sad for 16. That's when the bullies found her. It started small. Books knocked from her hands. Notes taped to her locker that read "Toilet Girl" after a boy spilled juice on her seat by accident and she slipped in it. But it never stopped. The torment grew darker. Her only solace was the library, where she drowned herself in comic books and martial arts training videos, escapes into worlds where the silent girl always had a hidden power. But she never believed that could be her. Until that day. They had waited for her outside biology, pretending they needed help with a lab project. Brielle's stomach twisted, but her fear made her nod anyway. Maybe if she helped them, they'd leave her alone. Maybe if she smiled more, said less, and played along, they'd stop. She followed them toward the science wing bathrooms where no one ever went after class. The tile was always cold, the lights always flickering. That's when they grabbed her. One held her wrists. Another yanked her hair. The leader, a girl named Addison with perfect eyebrows and poison in her smirk, called her filthy. She said Brielle didn't belong in their school, said she smelled like the slums, and should learn her place. Then, the toilet. Brielle remembered choking, not just on water, but on rage. She felt 10 years of humiliation in one moment. And then she rose. She didn't plan it. She didn't think. Her instincts, sharpened from all those hours secretly practicing in her garage, mimicking Bruce Lee, repeating footwork from judo videos, took over. She yanked her arm free and spun, slamming her elbow into the stall wall, using it to spring her leg into the rusted door. It broke with a sickening crack and flew into Addison's nose. The other 2 screamed. Brielle advanced. Her body moved like it knew what it was doing. She didn't punch to punish. She struck to survive. But the rage gave her precision. The second girl lunged. Brielle sidestepped and drove her palm upward, straight into the girl's chin, like she saw in a Krav Maga video. The girl collapsed against the sink. The third tried to run. Brielle grabbed her hoodie and threw her into the mirror, which cracked but didn't shatter. Just like Brielle. It was over in seconds. She didn't wait for applause. She ran. The school shook the next morning. Brielle didn't speak a word during suspension. But the videos leaked. Someone from a stall had been filming. Typical. At first, the principal wanted to expel her. But when the footage spread across campus and beyond, something unexpected happened. The comments weren't mocking. They were cheering. She's a hero. About time someone stood up. Queen energy. Within days, students she never knew started nodding at her in the hallway. One even offered her a protein bar. The librarian left a stack of graphic novels by her usual chair. Someone fixed her locker. And then, the school counselor, Mrs. Patel, called her in. Not to scold. To thank her. And to talk. Really talk. Brielle's healing began not just because she fought back, but because, for the first time, someone believed her pain was real. She started weekly martial arts training officially. The local dojo waived her fees after hearing what happened. Sensei Kim didn't ask questions, just handed her a uniform and said, "Let the world know who you are. You don't need to hide anymore." Months passed. Her bruises faded, but her strength grew. Not just in muscle, but in voice. She joined a self-defense club at school, helped run seminars for girls in her neighborhood, taught younger students how to protect themselves, not just physically, but emotionally. The quiet girl with sad eyes had become a pillar of power. She never sought revenge. She never bragged. But she never let herself be stepped on again. As for Addison and her crew, they returned after suspension too, but different. Addison wore a brace for her nose and walked the hallways quietly now. Rumor had it, her father tried to press charges until he saw the video. He withdrew the case. Funny thing about truth, it has a way of slamming harder than any fist. And though Brielle never wanted to hurt anyone, she knew one thing clearly now. Sometimes, standing up for yourself means shattering more than silence. If this story touched your heart, made you cry, or lit a fire inside you, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps more people find the strength in their own stories. Speech balloon, and please, before the video ends, drop a comment if you've ever been underestimated, bullied, or doubted. Let's build a wall of strength in the comments for everyone who needs to read it today. You said. Chapter 1. ChatGPT said. Chapter 1, Silence tastes like rusted water. The day started like every other: overcast sky, squeaking bus tires, and the smell of bleach in the school hallways. Brielle Morgan pulled her hoodie up tighter, the edges of it still damp from yesterday's downpour. No one noticed her as she walked through the sea of students, and honestly, she preferred it that way. Being noticed usually meant trouble. She kept her head low, clutching her books close. Every corner of the building held echoes of whispered insults. The lockers hissed with snickers. Her name wasn't said outright, but Toilet Girl, the Charity Case, and Roach were just as effective. She'd grown used to it, in the worst way. She hadn't always been invisible. There was a time when Brielle danced barefoot in her backyard and painted her shoelaces to match her mood. A time when her father would lift her up after dinner and spin her around to old jazz music, calling her his wild wind. But that was before the accident. Before the hospital call. Before her mom stopped smiling. After her father died, they lost their home. Her mother picked up night shifts, and Brielle had to switch schools in the middle of 8th grade. That's when the teasing began. It started slow: giggles behind her back, people pinching their noses when she walked by, fake coughs and whispers about her clothes. Then it got crueler. Now in high school, she existed in the cracks, a ghost with a student ID. Her mom didn't know the half of it. How could she? She left at 6 a.m. and returned well past midnight. Brielle never wanted to add to her pain. So she kept quiet. Always quiet. Until today. It was a Friday. The kind of day people look forward to. Brielle dreaded it. Gym class was a nightmare: communal changing rooms, taunts about her body, and accidental pushes in dodgeball. But what she didn't expect was what happened after her last class. As the final bell rang, Brielle packed her bag quickly, ready to rush out unnoticed like she always did. But 3 shadows blocked the doorway. Addison, Tiffany, and Mallory, the school's self-proclaimed royalty, stood there smirking, arms crossed like walls. Addison stepped forward, her lip gloss shining and eyes cold. "Hey, Brielle. We need your help." "Science project," she said, voice sugary and fake. Brielle hesitated. She wasn't stupid. But something in her, maybe hope, maybe habit, made her nod. Maybe if she cooperated, they'd leave her alone for a while. She followed them down the hall. They led her toward the science wing, specifically, to the old bathroom at the end of the corridor, past the dusty lockers and flickering lights. It was always quiet there. Forgotten. Like her. As soon as she stepped inside, she knew. The door slammed shut. Cold tile. Echoing laughter.